What up, y'all? Savage Tiger. Man, I never thought I would be doing this kind of a video. I mean, yes, I want to do a recap video about the LSU Florida State game that was in New Orleans, that I was there for. And man, I am bitterly disappointed at how the game ended and how it went for the majority of the game. But it is a learning experience, and it'll only get better from here, I think. Look, I think we probably just hit rock bottom, and the Brian Kelly era is not off to a great start, but I'm telling you, you dumbass LSU fans that quickly switch up and just be like firing him, or he's complacent because he got a contract for 10 years for so much money that you think he doesn't care about his job. Man, you know how retarded you sound? I'm telling you, this is our coach, guys. It's just, you realize that, you know, we had a lot of transfers come in, and we're working with about 30%, basically around 32-33% of our team is transfers. That's about 1/3 of the roster. And we needed those some of them came from smaller schools because we just needed the depth, because a lot of people from us transferred out of here, or, you know, went to the NFL, and, you know, was left in the mess that Coach O, our previous coach, left behind for us, and we're still cleaning up that mess. I mean, I kind of saw it. I didn't see this game being a loss, but Florida State might not be a bad team. We'll see. People projecting them to get 7 wins, like to have a winning season with this team after they had 2 losing seasons. And, you know, we'll see how it goes. And another thing I'm gonna get to in a minute is the Florida State fans. My goodness, I don't think I've ever interacted with a nicer fan base in my life. Man, shout out to FSU fans, man. I had people tell me, like online, I interacted with people, and they'd always tell me, I always was curious how Florida State fans was. Are they delusional? Are they a bad, obnoxious fan base? And apparently they said a lot of them were not. So, and I asked them how were they when they were actually elite as a program back in the early 2010s. And, like, you know, some of the late 2010s until Jimbo Fisher left. But, and, you know, a few at that point, a few of them were delusional, but still a lot of them were a great fan base even then. So, you know, humble and, you know, just have fun, maybe talk some trash. It's okay to talk trash, like friendly. It's part of the game. It's part of college football. But overall, they're very nice to talk to. I actually had some conversations with them after the game, and it enlightened my mood a little bit after that disappointing loss. You know, they were just telling us how you keep your head up. You have a good LSU has a good coach. It's just going to take some time. They saw it. Like, a lot of them are very smart fans. They know what they're looking at. But that was a pleasant experience, honestly, even though it was a loss. I was bitterly disappointed about the game, which I'm about to talk about in a minute. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about how my experience in New Orleans was. My experience in the Superdome, which it's always been my dream to see a game in the Superdome. And what a beautiful stadium. It is amazing that national championships are held there. The Sugar Bowl every year is held there. And it is great, man. They need to start opening more games in that stadium. It's a shame that not many, only like this in 2017 they used it as an opener stadium. Like LSU played in both those openers. So, and for that, I was always asking myself, why is there no game this year, an opening game in Arlington, Texas? You know, where the Dallas Cowboys play. And I realized they just wanted to do it in. They wanted to use New Orleans this year for the LSU Florida State kickoff. You know. I think that's about all I need to say about my experience and the Florida State fans, how great they were. And I would love to watch a game with them again. Like it was amazing. Like they're not like a lot of these SEC fans, and the majority of, I hate to say it, LSU Tiger fans. Dumbass LSU fans want Brian Kelly gone already. They said we overpaid, we got the wrong coach. I'm like, you motherfuckers about to see, man. You have no idea what went wrong with our team this year. I did not expect. I think it's unacceptable to lose this game, but you know, it shows you what we were working with, and a new coach can only work with and rebuild the program when he actually sees in a game what he has on his roster and where the problems are, and that way he figures out how to fix them. You can't analyze it until you actually play a football game against a real opponent. And this was week 1. This was the first game. Now we know where our problems lie. Now we know what we're working with and where we need to go up for this rebuild and make LSU elite again, competing for national titles. You know? So now I'm going to get to the game. You know, Jaden Daniels, the transfer quarterback from Arizona State, he was the starter. And he was not named the starter until like maybe a few hours before kickoff. And as for his performance, I thought overall he had a nice game. Yeah, our fans are going to shit on him. They've been shitting on him. But man, I would have too a little bit, and my emotions got in the way. I left the game early. I left in the fourth quarter when Florida State scored a touchdown to go up 24-10. Early in the fourth quarter, I just decided to leave because I wasn't happy with the product I was seeing. I was not happy with how the game was going. And believe me, I'm never a believer. I am always a believer that no matter what, you should stay the whole time. But that time, I let the expectations get in my head from a dumbass LSU fans. I let the expectations get in my head. We're not supposed to have these crazy expectations year 1, and given what we have on our roster, we're not supposed to have it. We're supposed to just try to be competitive, play as hard as we can, be competitive, as much competitive as we can, knock off some teams, you know, just somewhere between 7 and 10 wins is the goal here. I think we're gonna either get 7 or 8 this year, as far as judging from what I saw week 1. But Jaden Daniels, the quarterback, had a great performance. I thought he needs to work on his accuracy. He had the second play. So this is how the game started. We got the ball first, and the first play, Jaden Daniels scrambles for like 50 yards. And then he throws a deep ball like 30 yards into the end zone for Kayshon Boutte, the best receiver in the country. And I thought he was about to pull that in, and it appeared that the Florida State DB made a great play, and so it wasn't really like a drop on Boutte. But some people pointed out, and I agree, that if you're the best wide receiver in the country, you have to make that play. You got to find a way to pull that ball in. Like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, all them other elite receivers that have been through LSU, they'll pull that ball in. I know that. They'll pull that ball right in and score that touchdown. Then after that, the incomplete pass, we had a fumble snap, which then ultimately led to a field goal, and then we just did not score again until like late in the third quarter. Like, our offense was just not playing well. It was not on the same page. The offensive line was struggling. It's got some new transfers there, and I believe we will get that. Next year, we're going to have a better offensive line. We're going to start having better offensive lines, I think. This year, we still got some of Coach O's players, and some of them are just not very good on the offensive line, and some transfers that are just not really experienced. So we just have to wait, and we have to just do our best there with what we have right now this year. But yeah, it's struggled for so much of the game, and I thought the running backs, they did not get enough carries. I thought we tried to throw too much first when the game was good, and then once we got down by 2 scores, because we got down by 2 scores twice, I thought by then we just had to throw the ball. So, but early on, I think we should have used our running backs more. But we had a lot of rushing yards, and it was all because like 90% of it was Jaden Daniels just scrambling. When the play breaks down, the Florida State defense had no answer for Jaden Daniels on scrambles. Like, they were not able to contain him, and I see why Brian Kelly started that guy, because he brings an element that some of the other quarterbacks just do not bring. Like, he is hard to contain. Sometimes there's going to be times, and I'm excited. That part I'm excited for this year, to see that you could have the right defense called, and if you're on the opposing side, and he could still make you pay. That's how good of an athlete he is. Reminds me of Kyler Murray. Sometimes you could have the perfect defense to stop him, or even contain him. You could have that perfect defense called, and he'll still make you play. Still make you pay. He will make a play at a clutch moment. That's what he reminds me of, and I'm happy to see that. But he does need to work on on some accuracy, because we need to utilize our weapons more, because we have elite weapons at receiver. That's why I think that's my assessment of our offense just being not so good. Now, when I left the stadium, things got real interesting. Like, we scored, we was driving the ball, and we converted a 4th and 2, and then at some point we just ended up throwing it to Geaux Jenkins in the end, and he just went like 20 yards, sprinted into the end zone, just yards after the catch. And then our defense in the fourth quarter was lights out. I think Malik Neighbors, our receiver, he was on punt returns, and that was an issue all game. He fumbled 2 punts. He dropped 2 punts inside the 20. So Florida State got a short field both times. One time was like almost at the end of the half, and yeah, it was sometime in the first half. And but luckily both times they resulted in no points for Florida State. And Florida State actually decided to go for it, and turnover on downs. We stopped them. The second time was in the fourth quarter. After I left, I just pulled up I was trying to walk back to the hotel, and we just stopped at a bar which had some TVs, and I was just right outside the bar watching to the TV, just watching the end of the game to see just how it falls. I just didn't want to be in the stadium much longer because I was not happy, and I let my emotions get the best of me. But so then we got that stop. Like I said, defense played great in the fourth quarter, really buckled down, and Florida State punted the ball to us. Malik Neighbors fumbled the second punt inside the 5-yard line. And I was like, man, I thought the game was over right there, because then all you have to do is like run some plays. He's either going to score a touchdown or a field goal. And either it's going to be a 2-score game, and then you know what that means. Even if LSU scores as quickly as one play in a few seconds the next drive, you still have to get an onside kick because you're out of timeouts. In order to go try to have a chance to score again. And then it just becomes hard after that. It's almost impossible. It's very, very improbable to win that like that. So I thought like the game was over once they recovered that fumbled punt inside the 5. But then I stayed a little bit longer just to see what would happen. Like, who knows? Maybe we'll block a field goal, something like that. You never know. So I gave myself one last hope, one last chance. And then I suddenly see that the Florida State player fumbles, trying to go run in for a touchdown. And I was like, no way. I was so surprised. We recovered that ball, and I knew, even though we recovered on the 1, so we had to go 99 yards for a game-tying touchdown, but I knew we was going to do it. I knew it. And we just drive down, score, but then we miss an extra point, which then ends the game. We miss an extra point that would have sent us to overtime. That's basically a summary of how the game went, because it was crazy for those that didn't watch it. And you know, that's just what my emotions were through it. And I was just like, honestly, like I said, I'm very disappointed. And you know, we made mistakes, too many mistakes to win this game, but to still have a chance like that shows what a job Brian Kelly did coaching these players. And it shows that this team will never give up no matter what. And that is a trait I've always wanted to see. And now I know that we have it, that our players always believe, and we always fight until the very end, scratch and claw to the very end. That's what I want to see. And with the effort, I am so pleased, but I'm super disappointed with the outcome. And I'm disappointed in the mistakes. And we just need to get some things corrected. I think we're going to win some games, a lot of games this year. We're going to win some games. We're going to knock off a big team this year. Excuse me. Outside of that, I thought the defense struggled a lot until the 4th quarter. The DBs were lost pretty much. They were giving up too many easy, like 8-yard throws to tight ends and all that. It was something needs to change there. The DBs can only they just need to get a little better. I mean, they're new. A lot of them are transfers, so they just need to get a little better. And that's going to be a concern for me as an LSU fan going forward this year. Can our DBs hold up against some good competition? We will just have to see. As far as our front, I thought we're pretty solid. Linebacker and defensive line, I thought we did a good job harassing the quarterback most of the time. We did a good job. We got some sacks, some tackles for loss. And Florida State could not run very much, outside of for some scrambles by the quarterback here and there. But our quarterback, Jared Daniels, had a lot more of those scrambles. So I'm not really worried much. We can just get better from that. But their running backs were not able to have a lot of success at all. After like rushing for like 100, 3 of them rushing for 100 yards apiece last week when they played like DeQuizney or some kind of other team, some kind of small school. He was able to hold the running backs in check, so that gives me encouragement for our rush defense, for our front 7. As far as the game goes, that's all I gotta say. We just need to get better, and I believe we're gonna win some games. I will be posting I did not post a preview video, like a serious preview for Florida State last week, because I just got too busy, so much stuff to do before I I was out to New Orleans. But I did do my hype and hate at the last minute, as you will see on my channel. The video is uploaded like an hour and a half before kickoff while I was walking in New Orleans, so check it out if you can. Otherwise, I will be doing my preview video for the Southern University Jaguars that were playing this on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Central in Baton Rouge, Tiger Stadium. First home game for the new head coach, Brian Kelly. And it is a sold out because Southern is also in Baton Rouge. So I will be doing my preview video on that tomorrow, and preview and score prediction, and it's gonna be a good weekend, I feel. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. But that wraps it up on Florida State. We play them again next year for the first week, for the first game in Orlando, the Citrus Bowl Stadium. I just hope we can maybe get some revenge there next year. So yeah, that about wraps it up here. Like the video, share, comment, subscribe. Only if you feel like it. You don't have to if you don't feel like it. And go Tigers. You know what it is.